Hey guys, what is up? This is Damnation-n-Hellfire. I'm joined by Ross Crow, and we picked up a stray along the side of the road this evening. I think his name's No Lube. I'm not sure exactly where we found him at,
I
but
think so. Last time I checked, anyway.
right. But yeah, he had a little spare time, so he figured he'd pop on tonight and join us. So, got a fair amount to cover tonight, I suppose. So might as well just get right into it. Get some screen share going here. And this is episode 8 already, not counting the special we did last week with the Kicks guys. Lots of TLCs this week. There was no bug fixes and tunings because the game's perfect. There's nothing wrong with the game, so it's a good thing we don't have to waste any time trying to fix anything, and we can just continue to break more things as we go. But anyway, the first TLC we got is Hunter Games, playoff Hunger Games, perhaps. So Ross, you want to go into that a little bit?
Sure. Here on the Hunter Games here, to earn the new skirmish tier 600 mark 1, what you want to do is take your Apollo, Phoenix, Skyfire carrier fleets. The first 5 targets, they can be done with the Apollo fleets, while the 6th and the 7th targets, you do need the Phoenix. I used Skyfires myself, so I don't have the Apollos, and it went really smooth. I did the prize pack 1. I'm sorry, I need to cover. It's going to be running from the 26th until the 11th, so quite a while from now. So
we got a good little bit on that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good deal. The prize pack 1, it's going to be for the Garwood Gatling gun, and the MK1. That's the hull itself. So that's a pretty good deal. The prize pack 2 is for the Houndstooth depth charge, and then you're going to get one build token for that one day, along with in prize pack 2. Now in prize pack 3, that does it. It keeps going. You're going to get another 1 day build token, but then you're going to pick up the PBX payload. The special, and also a skirmish chest. Now, in these chests are random. People have been reporting that they get different amounts of different things, so keep your fingers crossed on those. And then the mastery prize, you pick up the charged armor, the CI or C1 CT. You do also pick up the skirmish class build tokens. Now I like these tokens because they don't necessarily have to be used on this hunter. You can use them on your subs as well. So that's a neat thing. You're going to pick up the skirmish chest, mystery chest also, and you're going to also pick up the 6,000 VXP class token. So that's a pretty good thing. So you'll be able to rank it and build it at the same time. Now I haven't looked at the build time myself. I'm just guessing it's, I don't know, 14, 15 days, I would think.
For the hunter?
I think for these totally built, the build times I've been seeing are coming in around like 15 days totally built.
I'm not sure. One of my guys built it today, and he was able to build it and rank it with the tokens. One of them. So I forgot to ask him what the time was, but he was able to use the tokens he got in the campaign to build it and fully rank it.
Well, okay.
He actually used it to start doing that other campaign, and it was actually working pretty decent.
The thing I see in this campaign that I really, really like is the skirmish class build tokens. I really like them as opposed to the hull specific tokens. I mean, that it still locks you in a little bit to a certain area, but it gives you a lot more flexibility within that certain area. I would have personally myself liked to have seen all the tokens in this campaign, that skirmish type, but hey, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the best. Well, not the best thing. That's pretty. I looked at the stats a little bit, but I agree. The skirmish class build tokens is where it's at for me.
Me too, because I haven't built any of those subs yet, so I was kind of excited about seeing those.
Now, I guess we can go over the Hunter Mark 1 a little. It's the skirmish class, of course. Now, the concussive reload is plus 75% on this here. The splash is 20%. Now the concussive damage is 175%. So it's got an plus an anti-mortar range of 50%. The evade bonus is 20%. Now it's unreactive. Well, I see that.
We're losing.
Still there, Ross?
I'm here. Did you lose me?
Yeah, I think you froze up there for a second.
Okay, I'm back. I think that where this hole here is where the nice part about it is the explosive defense and the concussive defense is 30% and 35%. Now that's pretty high. Now combat speed stock 25, sonar range is 32. And now I was wondering when I'm looking through this hole, I see no thermal.
That was my concern when I looked at the sites.
I'm wondering, do you think when we get the flagship will have thermal?
And
I'm hoping so.
I don't know. I just figured it would have thermal on it. I don't know. It just kind of bumfounded me when it didn't have thermal.
I truly almost myself. I kind of thought maybe it's a display. Maybe they just it's missing because I mean that's my thought, but I didn't know.
Hey, we don't have graphical errors in this game. What are you talking about?
Because I don't really know what sonar range of 32 gets me in today's game. And
even if you bump that up and got up to 100, that still to me doesn't do much anymore.
No, that's what I mean. I don't think that does it. It doesn't do enough for today's targets. So that's interesting, but it's a good looking hull. I have not tested it, so I can't tell you on the actual on the water. I haven't seen it myself. I'm glad people are getting it out there.
I mean, it's got pretty nice. It's got pretty nice defensive buffs once you start getting a couple in the fleet. You know, because it has a aura cap of 5, and then it's plus 30% for concussive and explosive defense for each extra one you got.
Oh yes, I'm sorry I didn't cover that part. The bonus effect applied to that is each, and that's actually the good thing about this. The more you have in the fleet, the better, and that goes all the way up to 5. So you can get your really concussive defense and your explosive defense extremely high. I mean, it really high. I mean, that's going to be a nice haul. The fleet, at least.
Oh, yeah, that splash damage reduction thing I think is going to come in really handy too, because those whatever types of missiles those were that the gluts were firing off and the targets that we've been doing a little bit of here lately, they had a pretty significant amount of splash from what I was seeing.
That's what appeared to me too. The ones that kind of go in a wave at you, like in a type of a tsunami thing. They do some splash for sure.
So my question is this whole going to be meant to do the work in the game, raids in the game, or is this an FEF sub-killer hole? I mean, I've kind of reading the description of it, and it's kind of like it's almost both, for say that they're kind of targeting this hole for.
I don't know. I personally myself, I always look at PvE stuff first.
Right.
And like
and one of my guys, he was looking at it. He goes, I think this might do good in the next raid versus the sub.
Yeah. I mean, I think it may end up doing pretty good in the PvE category. PvP, not so much, just because of lack of thermal, in my opinion.
That was my gripe. I said the lack of thermal, I think, takes it away from FEF or PvP and, being an actual bona fide sub killer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that.
So I was kind of thinking maybe this could be that answer for the guys that don't want it. I know there's a lot of guys out there, a lot of players out there that don't like driving subs. This could be an answer for that.
Well, yeah. This is set up to be the auto haul for the raid for the people who don't like subs.
No, I'm that guy. I am that person. I hate subs. So
me too.
And I would love an auto haul where I don't have to drive too. But do we think that this is?
Well, my opinion is that when they've said this is the auto hull, it's never been the auto hull. So I think it would be something you still have to drive, but it could be a great alternative to the subs.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And let's be honest too. After the last raid of the cycle we just got done, a lot of people kind of at this point feel like they're being forced into building both anyway.
Right.
Because the Skyfires perform so much better in that 106 target than what Phoenixes did.
Absolutely. I'm one of those that didn't build the Skyfires. All I had was Phoenixes. In that last little cycle there, I kind of struggled a little bit. I had to stick to the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I managed to do okay, but it was I got lucky and I had some remote Raiders crews laying around, so I was able to use those Phoenixes and run around in circles and get that extra speed buff. But yeah, it's like that last raid just almost made it feel like it's almost mandatory to at least have like one solid fleet of the skill hull and at least some kind of half-assed one of the auto hull.
Right.
I agree. But you know, the more for the game's really starting to take a lot of time. And so for the players that aren't requiring 100% of your attention hulls, the more of those hulls, the better. So
yeah, I agree with that.
For me. And so that's nice. Hopefully this is more than, you know, subs require just a great deal of attention. And then a great connection as well, as we can see tonight with me. Now, it also comes with the Houndstooth depth charge. Now,
that's 6 times fast.
Right. Now, this weapon comes with the splash of 15. The spread's 100. It has a range of 93, 8 to 93. So there is a dead zone if you're on top. Keep that. Remember that, I guess. Damage is 6,350. Salvo or 3, reload time is 4, so it reloads pretty fast. It does have a submerged damage of the same. So wall damage and building damage is listed at 317.
Which I was doing the math. If you loaded all 8 of them up on one of those new hulls, you could get damage around 50,000 per ship.
That's pretty high. 50,000.
Yes, because it's 6,350, and I mean, I'm not saying everybody would load all eight slots, but if you did, you could get the damage around 50,000.
Well, and we probably could get it a little higher with what we have to come.
Yes.
Now, and the new Draconian special increases the critical strike chance. So, this one's a good special to get here. Does a 100% critical damage, so the critical chance is increased 20%. So it's a nice special too.
I know I myself, and this is just me, I've never been a huge fan of the specials that require me to proc a crit that you never know how often it's going to happen. I mean, yeah, if you got an extra special slot, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Hunter has 6 special slots. So yeah, if you have a 6 special slot, you can definitely throw this on. But like I said, I just myself have not really been a fan of specials that depend on.
Hard to gauge that.
Yeah,
I totally agree. And the random deals,
But the one thing about this is for the folks out there, I had a lot of folks asking questions because, you know, a lot of people don't read everything. You have to redeem this. You have to get this to do that other campaign.
Yep.
You have to redeem the PBX payload to start that other campaign that gets you the Phantom ship.
Yep, we're getting that, I think, on the next slide, I think.
Okay.
So that was an excellent lead into that next slide. And other campaign is the Hidden Depths. And as we were just talking, to gain access to this TLC, you need to do at least up to Prize Pack 3 on the last TLC that we just talked about. What do you guys think about that?
I think they're forcing people to do stuff, but I mean, they're also giving you, and what I did notice about this and kind of irked me, but I kind of get it too, is they're giving this hidden depth chart, or the hidden depths campaign has a 4-day limit. The campaign to do this has an 11-day limit, if I did the math right.
Yeah, that's one thing that really is kind of plugging me a little bit.
It did me too, and I was like, I don't get the strategy there. Why would you give you such a short time to do this campaign, but you have to do other said campaign before you can start this campaign. It just kind of threw me.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I think I hope this is the first and only time they do this, because this is, to me, this is just the beginning of a slippery slope that I don't necessarily want to go down. I don't want to have, hey, guess what? We got 5 TLCs this week, but to get to the 5th one, the one that you really want to do, you got to do. You're forced to do encounter 1 through 3 of all the other 4. You know, this is a slippery slope, but I definitely don't want to head down it.
No,
Yeah, and my thinking is with this Phantom Fangtooth, I guess it's giving you a little bit of flagship ability when it says it applies bonus effect to things, but I don't feel like it's a must-have, really, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit more about that when we get to the blueprint for the actual.
But I do want to cover that. I mean, stress that fact that slippery slope we just entered. They just made a TLC that's locked behind another TLC. So yeah, that's just begun. That stings, you know, and that's not something I didn't want to see happen.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. But yeah, as we said, this one only lasts till the 30th. So you only got, like, you know, a good 4 days to do it. So if you want to try to do it, get out there and get to work. Prize pack 1, you'll get 1-day skirmish class build token, along with a Phantom Fangtooth shard. Second prize pack, you'll get 2 of those build tokens with 2 shards. Third prize pack, you'll get 2 of those build tokens. You will get 4 1,000 BXP Fangtooth tokens. You will get 1 piece of concussive charged armor, and you will get 3 more shards. And then for the 4th prize pack, you will get 3 more of those build tokens. You will get 5 1-day Phantom build tokens specifically for this hull. You will get 4 more of these shards. You will get 25k worth of Phantom Fangtooth VXP tokens. You'll get 2 of those, and then you will get 4 more of the concussive charged armors. And then, of course, once you get all these shards throughout these campaigns, that will give you enough to have the Phantom Fangtooth blueprint. I don't know about the whole shard thing here, you know.
I was curious about that too, and why they went that route. Why not just say, okay, the last prize pack 4, you get the Phantom?
The only thing I can say is, if this is the route, well, obviously this is the route they're going to go down, so I can't say if this is the route. But I hope they then, in turn, make these shards available in the raids too, because then you know, that poor guy who was able to get through pack 1 and 2 and maybe even 3, but can't get that 4th one, isn't just stuck there sitting on, you know, 6 shards. It's like, well, these ain't doing me a freaking bit of good.
One of my guys was able to get through pack 1, 2, and 3, said it was fairly easy. He used Tide Seekers to do it. It did cost him a little bit of coin. It wasn't outrageous, but when he got to prize pack 4, it was significantly more difficult than the first 3 packs.
Now,
so
this is the one campaign I haven't taken a look at yet. So I don't know if it's similar to the VXP targets that we had, and if you can go in and, like, you know, take 1 Tide Seeker in or 2 Tide Seekers in and prep out the thermal ships and go in and kill the rest of it with hardly built Fangtooths or not.
Some guys were saying that they were doing 1 and 2 with Hellrace, so that could be an option too for people that still have those or haven't built the Fangtooth yet.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't like this whole shard thing.
So people were able to get through it with the Tide Seekers, though?
Well, yes. One of my guys actually got all the way to prize pack 4. He was having a lot of issues doing prize pack 4. So what he did is he went and built the Hunter with the tokens and ranked it with the VXP tokens he got in that campaign, took it back into there, and it was actually performing pretty well. And he had 2 plates of armor on there, and it was a 4 coin repair.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't seem bad. That doesn't seem bad at all. So, yeah, my big concern is I just don't like the whole shard aspect of it.
I totally agree.
You know, just give it all or nothing, you know?
Right.
That's just me, though. And then we got the Phantom Fangtooth itself. So yeah, it has the 14% concussive range that the other ones do, 150% torpedo damage. Let's see, its special abilities is, you know, has the 97 range. What do they call that again? Come on, help me out here, guys. The aura that goes with the Fangtooth, Dread, or
Dread, yeah.
Yeah.
The ink in the water is what I call it.
Oh, there you go. It's got the flagship effects where, you know, it will give combat speed plus 20% it itself and all the other Fangtooths in your fleet, plus 25% projectile speed, and turn speed of 45%.
That part actually intrigued me about the Phantom, and I thought, okay, that would actually be a bona fide bonus with it. Although the Fangtooth can be made pretty fast, from what I looked at it, and what some of the guys have been building. So I like that, to get another 20%. Those things are going to be pretty fast.
Yes.
I was looking at the turn speed bonus too. So I know a lot of us are going to probably go with, you know, Magnus 3 or Magnus 2 if you had already built it. And, you know, the one thing about Magnus Drive is it leaves you lacking on turn speed. It gives you a hell of combat speed, but then you're turning like a snail.
Yes, so that would definitely make up the difference there.
Yeah. But, I mean, I kind of tend to agree with you, though. Like, while the stats on it are nice, I don't see this as being a make or break hull for your fleet necessarily. So, you know, if you can get it, that's awesome. But if you can't get it, from what I'm seeing here, don't feel like you're so far left behind that you're not going to be able to do anything in the raid, because that's not what I'm gathering by looking at these stats.
I kind of agree with that. I was kind of looking at the same thing and thinking, okay, do I got to get this? Do I got to get this? And I felt like that I don't have to have it. I also feel like, you know, when they do these things, they usually come back out with it again to kind of grab that extra attention with it. So, you know, if you feel like you need it and you think, oh, well, I missed that, I think you'll have another opportunity to get it.
Oh, and here we go. Here's one for you to cover there, Nolu. This involves a lot of talking. I know you like to do that. So here we
yes,
go.
It does. And I've actually gone through part of this. I think this is actually pretty neat. I use my Phoenix on this thing, but it's the Tech Up TLC. We have a brand new TLC to get the Tier 6 components into your waiting hands. In this 9 run through, it is 9. That is quite a bit, but it's not too bad. I think it's 3 per run. TLC, each run through will reward you with a treasure chest. This is totally random. Some guys were getting this, some guys were getting that. So it's totally random. Components from a pool of 9 new items. So if you do all 9, you will get all 9. You will get a different component through each run through. Complete all 9 run throughs, of course, to collect all 9 components. You'll want to bring your assault ships, Phoenix. I heard even some guys using the Apollos. I think you can use the Apollos for the first few of them, and then you would have to go to your Phoenix or your Skyfires to do the last part of them. This is the good part. This one runs for a little bit. It runs from today through the 3rd of December. So I think that's pretty good. It's going to give folks enough time to get through there.
Did you just say the 3rd of December?
I mean December. October. I mean October.
I was saying, yeah,
that would be nice. That would be nice. I'm glad you caught me on that. Dadgum. Yeah, to the 3rd of October. 3rd of October. Sorry about that, folks. So you got a little time to get through this. I was kind of juggling. I kind of started this one, then I went back and did the other one, and was kind of going back and forth with them. And but I definitely like this. And I was looking at some of the things you're getting into it. First item I got was the Stealth Attack System 5. I really like this. I think it could be something that people could use on their Fangtooth or any other sub that they've got out there. Cloak time is plus 40. Concussive damage is plus 44. Weight is kind of heavy, plus 35% on its weight. So, I mean, you're going to have to kind of work with that a little bit. Also, the other slide here you have is the Nautilus Battery 4. Cloak time plus 55. That's going to be a little bit of a bump there. But yet, once again, these components are kind of heavy, plus 30% on its weight. That's my only concern with these 2 items is the weight and trying to fit everything on there.
Unless I'm mistaken, too, I believe the stats that are shown on these slides are before any retros you have done.
Yes,
applied.
It is. Yes, it is. So
yeah,
if you,
go ahead.
I was going to say, my understanding is if you already have said components ranked, being Nautilus Battery 3, Stealth 4, so on and so forth, that these will instantly be ranked once you redeem them. Now, I haven't redeemed. You know what? I actually have redeemed that. Let me take a quick look here. See if while that's loading. Let's see here. I was actually going to see, but
well, something else I wanted to mention too, that a stealth attack system 5. If you do get that, I wouldn't necessarily put that on your Fangtooth because you will get a concussive damage buff, but that cloak buff that you're going to have is the cloak time is totally going to go to waste since they never surface.
It is, but what about does it affect anything when they do surface? And what actually makes these things surface? Is it like the old thing we used to put on the arbiters that would make subsurface?
Yeah,
cavitator
fields will make them surface. Yes.
Okay, I wasn't thinking about the cavitator because I was actually thinking about that the other day. What is actually going to make this thing surface?
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, cavitators or the fields are the only thing that'll bring them up.
Let's see, I'm almost in there. Ship specials.
It's a too heavy item just to use for concussive damage of 44%. In my opinion,
that was my concern with it, was the weight attached to some of these things. I was just kind of curious how that was going to work. Let's see here. I've actually got loaded in here.
Seems like some of these upgrades need to go on a tech diet.
To confirm, all these components, if you have your existing components retroed, these are automatically retroed.
Okay.
So I did confirm that in the retro lab just now. So that is going to work there. But moving forward, we got a new Magnus drive, Mags 3. The thing that kind of disappointed me about this one was that the combat speed was the same as Mag 3 or Mag 2 at 92.7% pending your rank. Map speed plus 77.3 and cloak efficiency plus 75. Now that's the bonus on this one. I'm okay with the weight on this one too of plus 14. So I think this could definitely be a usable one, but kind of shifting back to what you were saying about the Fangtooth, do you really need this cloak efficiency on the Fangtooth particular? So I thought about that. Maybe you could use it on like your gluttonies, or if the guys out there that just have the Hell Race, maybe they could fit that on there, get a little bit submerged time if they're having to do this raid with those Hell Race. But
cloak efficiency, I would say definitely, even on the Fangtooth is good because that's what keeps you from getting spotted early.
That's right. I'm thinking of submerged time.
So
yes, that could be a good thing to put on there, and it is better than what you get on the Mag 2.
Right. And it's funny because the one thing you said you were a little bit disappointed in was it didn't have more of a combat speed. Honestly, when it came down to it, I was kind of happy that it didn't because I had already had one shell started that had Mag Drive 2 on it. So unless I'm absolutely just concerned about my cloak efficiency, I don't necessarily have to go back and change it right away.
That is a good point, definitely.
Have the same speed as any of the ones I build going forward.
So you could go ahead, continue your sub builds, and then go back at a later time and refit the Mag 3 to the one you missed.
Correct. Now, I am a little bit pissed off that after, 2 days after I started building it with Magnus Drive 2 on it, they came out with a TLC that had Magnus Drive 3. Yeah, I'm a little salty about that because, we always used to, it always used to be, don't build your stuff yet until the FM comes out. Don't build your stuff until the FM comes out. And we got everybody trained to do that. So now it's like, we screwed you in a different way. We brought out TLC.
Now we're going to throw a campaign at you that gives it to you. Just a quick reference back to the Hunter. The gentleman that built it in my group, it is a 14-day build.
Okay. And that's with all armored out or with 2 armored?
Two pieces. He put 2 charged armors. He put a explosive armor and a concussive armor on there. All the specials. He put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the new depth charge, and that was 14 days.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Okay.
So next up, we got the Siege Battery. This one's intriguing to me. The turret defense stays the same. Of course, retroed, you'll get your plus 50 out of this thing. It has a stock of plus 75, so retroed, this is going to give you building damage. I'm going to guess of somewhere around 85%. That is a guess because I don't have it yet. It's not in my lab yet, so I was just trying to guess with the percentages that you get on the Siege Battery 3.
I'm going to probably say somewhere closer to around 90% or higher.
You think 90? I was thinking between 85 and 90. But yeah, once again, it's pretty heavy. But of course, Siege Battery 3 is pretty heavy too. So I think folks that are using that, they can definitely go to this and get that bonus building damage. And one thing I like about this is OP10 has more armor. So we're going to need more building damage to try to take down these OP10s. So I definitely like this special.
Now, am I correct that we lost turret 10% turret defense? However,
now if you retro it, which it'll automatically be retroed if everything's already R15, it'll be plus 50.
Oh, okay,
it'll be 50%. So because remember, Siege Battery 3 before retro was 42.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things when you first see it, you're initially like, oh, panic! I just lost 10%.
I did.
And everything. You're like, oh.
I did too. When I first saw it, I went, well, that's not any better than 3. And then I thought, wait a minute, retro. So moving on, we got Siege Targeting 4. Yet another one I like.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
33% before retros. Oh my gosh.
Once again, OP10, much more powerful on the armor. So I'm thinking that these are going to be items that you can use, especially on the monolith. I mean, not the monolith, the sloth builds that people are doing out there. I think this combinating with the Siege Battery, if you could figure out that deal there. Plus, you know, getting this retro too, that's going to be some major building damage. I mean, I'm thinking that, you know, building some of these holes right, you can get building damage plus 300. Pretty close.
And it's always hard to tell too, because Siege Battery and Siege Targeting always have such a weird way of stacking anyway.
True.
It's not just simple additive. It's like, oh, we're gonna add up here and then multiply something here and then do another twist and turn here. So we'll end up with, like, you know, way more percentages than what we get by the simple addition.
And what we call kickside math.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be a Bashmatithan from the best college in the world to figure out their math sometimes, but I do understand. But I like, even if you just went with this special, I think the building damage is just one of the best that you can have out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, by far.
Next one up, we got a new countermeasures loader 4. This dude, I kind of like the stats on this. The one thing I was wondering is what the lower stats are. I mean, I know we got anti-mortar range of plus 62, anti-missile range of plus 62. I was wondering what those next little spots down there were.
I didn't even think to get a better screenshot out of the end game. I apologize for that.
I didn't think you had a better shot than that unless you've already redeemed it.
Well, like most specials, you can go in and still at least click on them though and see what the full blueprint is.
But I do like this one. I'm a guy that has used this for one. The reload stuff is always nice to have. It's not real crazy on its weapon weight at plus 19%. I do like the plus countermeasures range plus 62. All these numbers are, you know, it's not significantly better than countermeasures or countermeasures loaders 3, but it is a little bit better. So I definitely like that one there, and that's a bonus.
This actually includes some of the stuff that the other countermeasure reloaders didn't cover, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Scattergun is one of them.
I don't think they had Scattergun reload. I don't think they had concussive reload. So just those two right there are a pretty big thing, especially the concussive reload.
I wasn't thinking about those extras. In fact, let's take a look here. I'll take a look over here. I've got this loaded up.
I will point out one other thing, too, that our friends over at TFC happen to notice, and I will point it out as well, is this line here that says increases accuracy and range of base turrets. Totally ignore that line. This is not for your base turrets. This is for your ships.
I have countermeasures loader 3 pulled up here. There is which has actually surprised me. I didn't know that this was this light. Countermeasures loader 3 is only 10% weapon weight. Say that 10 times, damn.
Right.
But it's only 20% on the reloads. It is missing not the concussive, the scattergun reload. Countermeasures range is only 50%, whereas it's 62 on this one. And I'm also going to assume that the bottom tiers are anti-mortar accuracy and anti-missile accuracy, which on this one is on 3 is just plus 35. So you are getting that bonus of quite a bit there, actually. And then you get a 5% bonus on your reloads, and it does include scatterguns.
Does 3 actually have concussive on it? Because I didn't think it did.
No, it does not. Does not have concussive, does not have scattergun. So you are missing those 2. You're getting those 2 and the plus 5% on everything else as well. So, but I do like the countermeasures range of another 12% there.
Right, and with the weapon weight of 19%, this is so far here. Weapon weight, this is the most bang for your weight.
It really is.
I mean,
And you talk to a lot of people in these builds, and a lot of people have overlooked this special even before now. And it's one special that I always look at. I don't always use it every time, but I always look at it, always play with it in the builds and go, why can't you use another 20% reload? And now on here you get the scattergun and the concussive. So I like this special. I really do.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of it too. Sometimes, especially on those ships where you have like your 6 special slots. So you load up your 5 mandatories, and your last one is like, okay, I get to have a little freedom in what I want to do with this one. And that's when you start tinkering around with it and see, okay, is this good here? Is this good here? And yeah, I've used it on quite a few boats my own self.
All right, you want to move on to the engine. This engine, I like this engine. It gives you a combat speed bonus of plus 77%, and of course retroed. My speed system 5 at R15 is plus 86.7. So I'm going to say that this one is probably going to be somewhere around 92, 93.
I want to say I think I saw 92.9 somewhere.
92.9. I was thinking somewhere around the 92 area. Your turn speed is plus 123. You got 148 at R15 on speed 5. So I would assume that that's going to be pretty close to the same, if I'm thinking correctly there. Your evade is the same. They're both, well, actually, the evade is a little bit more. You got 15 on 5. You got 18 on this. So you are getting a little bit more evade. Map speed is going to probably be pretty close to the same. My speed 5 is 92.6 at R15. This one is 77.3. So I think that's probably going to be the same, which, map speed, if you've got all your other things done, your R&Ds done, you're pretty fast anyway. Who needs to go faster?
Yeah, right.
Really? So, I mean, you can hardly see the stuff flying across the screen as it is. So, but I like this. I've always been a fan of speed and, getting that little bit extra bump. And, a lot of people have been using Mag 2 to get extra speed, like in the Rages. I know a lot of people were using Mag 2. So you could be able to use this, keep your turn speed. And of course the evade, I'm still a fan of evade. I know evade is not what it used to be, but I still see evade work. I still see evade work with the hyena missiles. I see evade work in some of these targets that we're going into as far as the raid targets, and other things like that. So I'm still a fan of that. So you're getting another bump on that of 3%. So I definitely like that. Next special is actually one of another ones. I've gone through this campaign twice. The penetrative upgrade was the other special I got. It gives you a plus of 10, and it's only 4%. I love that. I love that. That's something, if you're, once again, like you said earlier, if you've got that extra slot to work with, you want to get a little more bump and damage, throw that on there. It's not going to make a big difference in weight. So I definitely like this one.
Between the penetrative upgrade and the corrosive upgrade here on the last slide, is that finally the end of all the upgrades? Have we finally seen all the damage upgrade types, and can we finally be done with them?
Well, until they invent a new weapon.
Thank God.
I mean, I'm figuring scatterguns were our most recent weapon. Corrosive damage is our most recent damage. We're almost due for something. They like to throw us that curveball. So I was wondering when that was going to happen.
You can get a cloak upgrade.
But this one is your corrosive upgrade. Once again, a very lightweight upgrade at 4%. Gives you a corrosive damage bump of plus 10%. So yet, once again, if you have that special slot or extra slot, you want to slide that in there. It's not going to make a big difference on your weight. So yet, once again, I like the upgrades. I use the upgrades. I don't say, okay, I got to have it on my build. But if I do have that extra slot and I say, hey, what can I throw in there? A lot of times I will use the upgrades.
So here's a question for you. How do you think they're going to deal with the people who can't do all the encounters and won't be able to get all of this stuff? Will they deal with it in a way of re-releasing the campaign, or will they get this stuff get thrown into the raid for raid points?
I had thought that actually that question was asked to me earlier, because some people are kind of frustrated already. They don't have the ships to do this, or they haven't quite got up to par yet, or whatever the reason is. So there has been a little concern there. I think it's a little too soon. I think we see it in a campaign again, and we probably see this campaign run again, because I think Kicksai's math with this, or they're thinking with these campaigns, is that, okay, people have seen it. So in another month or whatever, 2 months, all right, we're going to throw you this campaign again, and you should be a little more ready for it, because you should have, one, you've built your ships to kind of do the raid, which some of this kind of corresponds with that or whatnot. So I think we see it in a campaign. I think we see this rerun before we see it in the raid.
I hope if they do the rerun of the campaign, that they won't do what they have a tendency to do, is, hey, since this is the second time, we should move the difficulty up.
Right? Absolutely.
That is one of the things that they do, is like the most ass backwards way of doing things to me.
Right.
And if I could get it the first time, why do you think you're going to have an easier time the second time?
Exactly. Well, it's like with the raid. They make it more difficult every time. They're like, okay, I finally got my fleet built. I'm ready to go. Oh, man, this is different and harder. So, it's just a curveball you got to deal with them. And it's not like they go leaps and bounds more difficult, but they always definitely throw you that difficult curveball.
I mean, at least in the raids, though, you have a different option where it's like, okay, this is more difficult, but at least I can go down to the next lower tier. And TLCs, you don't have that option.
That is true.
It's like you either got to do this or do nothing.
You're kind of, and another thing that's always kind of bummed me out about the campaigns or the TLCs, you can't get no help. You're on your own, totally. There is no prepping. So I've always been frustrated with, ever since they introduced the campaign, I've always been frustrated with the fact that you can't help people, and you can't get help if you need it.
Yeah.
But it's just another thing you gotta work with and try to figure out. And I guess you could flip that coin too, because Kicksai goes, okay, we know you folks get help in the raid. We know a lot of people that can't do the raid. They get out there, they get the help, or they give somebody some coins to help them, or whatnot. But I think they almost feel cheated sometimes. They're saying, oh, that guy's not coining to get his stuff up to par, or he's not coining these targets to be able to hit enough of them. So I almost think that's where these campaigns were born from. That's my conspiracy theory, and probably not right, but anyway, that's my conspiracy theory there.
Right. We usually try to say our tinfoil hats for either at the very end.
Right.
When we start doing our Sunday shows, that'll be a good place to wear that.
Yes, sir.
Now, on these campaigns, however, what I've seen as far as the difficulty level, it's been, I'll be honest, it's been pretty low for me.
It is.
So I'm not. I think it's some of these are actually great prizes for what I have in them. I don't think that even lower players will struggle getting quite a few of these.
I don't either, especially these products, these items here. I was taking my Skyfires through there. I went through 3 rounds, no repair. So I did it 3 times, no repair. The targets are different each time you go through it. They are the previous raid targets from what I've seen, every one of them. And they are a little bit lighter weight on the damage so that they're causing. And I had a pretty good time.
Yeah, for on this tech one, I've only done 2 or 3 encounters myself. But from what I've heard, that the farther you go, the deeper you delve into it, the more difficult it does get.
You go to the higher targets. It's giving you the higher raid targets the further you go.
Yeah, so by the time even people who were doing well in the raid, or doing at least decent in the raid, by the time they get into like 7, 8, 9, even they might be experiencing a little bit of difficulty.
Okay. Well, I can foresee that. I just think that the lower ones, for sure, for the ones that are wondering if they can at least give it a shot, I do believe that most all the active VP players, now can do these lower tier campaigns for sure.
Especially the very first campaign, the one that gets you the Hunter Mark 1. Like I know 100% for sure you can do that with Apollo.
Yes, that was very easy, very easy. In fact, when I did that campaign, I took 15 seconds damage.
Exactly.
It was very easy. So I think if you have the Apollos, which most people seem to have at least that hole, I think you can get in there. You can get that Hunter. And that Hunter, I saw it in action. Like I said, one of the guys there built it. We saw it in the He did use it in that the campaign, the one you have to unlock. And went totally blank. Hidden Depths. He did use it in Hidden Depths, and it seemed to be working pretty good. And only a 4-coin repair with those 2 blades of armor. They were charged armor, which has no repairs, so that was probably the bonus there. But 4 coins repair, and he could have done that with just that 1 hole. So he would have had to done each target probably a couple times. But, you know, he could have probably done it with that 1 hole. So I was very encouraged by what I saw from the Hunter in the little bit of action that I've seen it in.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, too, like, okay, even if it's going to cost you wrecking your whole entire Apollo fleet to get through that, do it. Because it's a big step up in, you know, in tech. And, like, big steps up are always a positive thing.
And I'm sure that Hunter's going to be something that's going to be used in a lot of the work in the game. From what I've seen in the action I've seen it in, I was thinking the Reaver Armadas, I was thinking, you know, or whatever's going to replace those eventually.
Right.
I saw a lot of uses for it, and I saw maybe even campaign future uses for it. So when I first saw the stats on the Hunter hole, I was like, I don't know. But then when I saw it in action, I went, that's pretty nasty. So I'm encouraged by it.
So they had a little pop-up when logging into the game today about the new Conquest Yard. When we'll actually get it, who the hell knows? But you know, they had their and that little blurb. They did have references to Huggy, which I thought was a great thing. Their acronyms were a little odd. I thought, what highly unyoked gear and gizmo yard. Okay. I preferred the second one, the historic undersea gallery of great yachts. I personally like that one.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think they should have just from the get-go called it Huggy's Yard, because I think that's what everybody's in the game is going to call it anyway.
Yeah, me too.
So, you know, I mean, it's but I mean, it's definitely good to see that guy getting some props. You know, he's done his shipyard for such a long time. And I'm honestly, dude, I'm not even sure he hardly even plays the game anymore. I think he just, you know, keeps up with the shipyard because he knows how many people have come to rely on it, depend upon it. And that's one of the most non-selfish things I've ever seen anybody in this game do.
Absolutely, and he's always efficient at it, and he does it pretty quickly when the new stuff comes out. I know a lot of people use his program, so definitely a stand-up guy to be doing that for as long as he's been doing it.
Yeah, I think it's a great deal. Great. It is. I like that, along with naming the ships, the hulls. I think that giving back to the community, it's a great thing for the company, and I like to see more of that.
And knowing Huggy, he's probably like all embarrassed too that he's getting the place right now. So that makes it even better. Ha ha, Dave. So they're going to be delaying Bounty until next week. So they want to make sure that it's in good shape for when we run season 2. And they're working on something cool this weekend for you in the meantime. So
what does I don't know if I'm encouraged by that or disappointed by that statement.
So I guess we're going to have Bounty then right before the raid.
The raid is going to be around the 15th.
The raid is the 12th. That's been confirmed that the raid starts on the 12th. So yeah, this will be like the week before the raid.
Ooh. Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything negative about the bounty, but I wasn't very encouraged by what I saw the first. I like the idea, I like the concept, I really do, because I've told people forever I really don't like the work in the game. If we could do a raid once a month and throw out these campaigns, throw out these weekly missions and everything else, and say, okay, you got 4 days, get what you can get all the points, get it, now build your stuff, go have fun. But the bounty was like, okay, yeah, you get to hit bases, because I've told people if I could do the raid and it required me hitting bases to gain points, I'd be all in. So when this first came out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exciting. This is what I personally been wanting. But I don't like the setup. I just don't like the setup. I don't like the short time you get on your bubble. There's parts of it I like and parts of it I don't like. So it's a 50-50 draw for me.
To me, they can keep it down until they get it set up to where you get points for base defense.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
I mean, that's my personal opinion. Until you start getting points for base defense, don't even turn the damn thing back on.
I definitely love the idea If they just went to this, man, I would be the happiest player in this game because that's what I love. I love hitting bases. I love defending my base. So, yes, if they could do something more around this to where you got points for getting hit, if they, obviously they didn't level you, and then you got points for hitting, man, I'd do this all week long. I just didn't enjoy myself, too. So I think it's something that they hopefully they expand on.
What do we think? There's something cool this weekend.
I'm kind of tightening up my sphincter muscles until I see what they're doing.
That's me.
I'm ready. Bring it on. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
here comes the.
Well, my fear is, what is their definition of cool?
Well, their definition of cool is, hey, we're going to make a lot of money this week.
Well, I know what their definition is, but if they're telling me we're giving you something cool this weekend, what are they giving me? And I'm going to go cool. That's cool.
Midget strippers.
Hey.
Okay, well, never mind. But
we give them a lot of crap. We give them a lot of crap, but every now and then they do come out with something cool that we do all enjoy. So we'll just kind of wait and see what happens.
Right, and maybe there will be some neat.
Yeah, hopefully it is.
Because honestly, I think we need something really cool right now, because I think the community in general is a little blasé about the whole game at this point right now.
Yes, in all honesty, this is the chance. This is a good chance, and to make the community just smile for a couple of days, why not give them something fun to do? I'm not sure what they have in store, but hopefully it works out good, and it's just fun. We don't need any more aggravation or chores. Let's just. I'm looking forward to something cool.
Yeah, me too, and I hope I look at the game and go, that's cool. I really do.
All right. At this point, I want to go into a little bit of an editorial section. So if you were only here for the news and find out what's going on, you can probably stop watching at this point. I can guarantee you a few curse words are going to get dropped right about now. So if you're offended by those, you should stop watching at this point. If you're a Kid's Eye employee who is easily offended, you should stop watching at this point. Because right now we're going into a few damn words. The first thing I want to talk about is VXP weekend. Okay, we just recently had this VXP weekend that, in my opinion, was a total cluster. And
I think making those targets have uranium and having to kill them really frustrated a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, well, honestly, I don't fucking care that there's uranium in the target, man.
I don't either.
I can get uranium extremely easy. Keep your fucking uranium. I want my VXP.
Exactly, and that's the only reason I do it.
The bigger problem to me is that the whole reason we ever had to have VXP weekends in the first place was because of their inability to program in 75% correctly, and instead it jumped it up to 400%. That made VXP so damn important because you get that extra like 325% reload. So VXP weekend in the very beginning was supposed to be something to fix their error, their screw up, something they did wrong. Yes. It wasn't supposed to be something that we were supposed to have to put out money for. This was your Band-Aid for something you messed up and then didn't fix. So the very concept of I should have to pay money to go out to take care of your fuck up, I'm not down with that at all.
We were just talking about this in my alliance the other day, not even just 2 or 3 days ago. I think their biggest mess up was getting away from 25%. I think they should have left that at 25%. I don't think they ever should have gone to 75%. But you're right. They answered it. Everybody was irritated. You coined the rank, or you got out there and you hit cargo for a month to rank your stuff or longer. And so they go, oh, we're going to give you this VXP weekend. Sure, you got to go in there and suicide your holes, but you put on a triple softy dog, you're going to get it done relatively quick, and it's not going to cost you a whole lot of coins to do so. I was all for it. Loved it. This came out, and I was like, this is almost them throwing the middle finger at you, to me.
Yeah, I mean,
I was frustrated with it.
I mean, I know you guys have played just as long as I have, if not longer. Do you remember the first VXP weekends we had where you could just go out and you could hit crap like pretty much all day long and hardly ever have to repair? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Sure.
And and you would get tons of EXP without having to spend a dime because it was doing what it was intended to do. It was there to fix their mistake without us having to spend a lot of money to do so.
And it was a grind, however. So we were online doing this though. So
yes.
I mean, it's turned. I actually on this very case, I got so upset on the whole thing, and I know it's the wrong answer, but I got so upset. I took that token deal for the courage. I'd rather take the courage deal and go mow the yard. No, seriously, then throw a couple of ships in a target that don't move, and then I have to build another ship that I don't need ranked, or throw in something I don't need ranked.
I sent a ticket to Kixeye over the courage. I said, you give us a target that requires you to move to activate the ships. How do I rank my courages? So what you had to do, I don't know how you guys did it, but I just put a gluttony in there, took damage, lost my gluttony in the whole process of this. So it ended up costing more to rank my courage because the courage doesn't move.
No,
I mean, give me the VXP targets like you did, put the uranium in them, make the ships move toward me without me having to put another ship in there to activate them. That made me madder than anything this last weekend.
One thing I want to make very clear too, I'm not really even necessarily blaming the current development and design team at Kix, because I'm sure that this whole problem came up well before any of those guys were ever even on board. I'm pretty sure. I can't be 100% sure, but I would be willing to bet some money that 90% of their design team, if not 100% of it, wasn't around at all when this problem was implemented in the first place.
Right.
I'm just trying to point out to them, since they weren't around, okay, this was the original intent of your VXP weekends, and you seriously need to get back to that original intent.
Yes.
I'm okay with. I'm actually someone who spends money. I would prefer to spend a little bit more than so much time. Now, this is ridiculous for me to throw a ship into a target that doesn't move. Now, I mean, for me, that's just upsetting. Now, and all that takes is a little bit of fun. Now, to be restored to the game, make the targets a little fun. And I don't care. I'll spend a little bit, but add some fun, please. That's what I'm saying. Just fun.
I'm with you there. And I'm not even saying that. I'm fine with the uranium. I didn't particularly say, okay, if you kill this target, this impossible target, you're going to get uranium. I'm fine with that. Give those people that have the ability to kill the target the uranium. That's perfectly fine. I just thought, whenever I took my courage in that first one, I just put on a triple salty dog, and I'm thinking, I had to, obviously use my brain and go, okay, how am I going to get these ships to come to me? And the only thought I had was to put a sub in there, which I actually put a Hellwraith in there first, and that didn't work. So I put the Gluttony in there, and that finally worked. But I was just thinking, okay, now I've got to coin the Gluttony and the Courage to rank the Courage, because my Gluttony.
Yeah, it's bad enough that you got to suicide your Courages, but you got to suicide something else to get to the point where you can suicide your courages.
Right. And I'm fine with the suicide, to be honest with you. I'm fine with all the previous months of VXP. I'm fine with taking them in there, suicide them, repair it, take it back in, suicide it. Hell, in 30 minutes or an hour, your stuff's ranked. Go on about the rest of your day. I'm fine with that.
I'm not. I actually think if we're going to just build targets to suicide, just to click and suicide, then give me the option on the side
to just coin it.
Just to coin it. Serious. Now,
well, I would be fine with that as long as the coining it is the same price as the targets.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No.
But
I would be fine with that.
I'm totally on a different field than you guys whatsoever. We shouldn't have to coin it. We shouldn't have to suicide it. There's a problem that should have been fixed a long time ago.
Sure.
If they're going to refuse to fix it, I shouldn't have to pay to fix their mistakes.
No, I agree on you. I agree on that.
The other thing I want to go into too is the randomness in these chests and these TLCs. What do you guys think about that? I personally think it's a lot of crap.
Here's why I think it's crap, and I would be fine with it if it was not this way. Each tier is harder. So you go in there, you get the new Mag 3. The other guy gets the penetrative upgrade. Well, we all know which is more important. Well, then you go to the round 2. It's a little more difficult. You might get this, or that guy gets that. Well, if you want, say, hey, I'm the guy that wants that Mag 3. and you randomly have to go all the way to 9 to get the mag 3, what if said guy can't get to round 9 to get mag 3? I think they missed the boat there on that because of that. I think each target should have been equally as difficult, maybe different scenarios in each target, maybe a different raid target, but the difficulty needs to be the same all through 9 of them, to me. Make it all the same. Same difficulty, let you get through all 9 of them, or make it set. You get mag 3 on number 1, you get penetrative on number 2, you get loaders on number 3, or so on and so forth. But I think the randomness kind of is going to handicap some people.
Well, and and here's what I foresee as a big problem too. Lots of people are like, well, they have random loot drops from bosses and all kinds of different games, blah 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 blah. The big difference is that those, like, well, I'm going to use World of Warcraft for an example. If I want a particular drop off a particular boss, I can go hit that dungeon over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It doesn't go away. It's always there. TLC is an entirely different ball game, man. You got this much time to do it, and if you can't do it in that amount of time, you're not going to get everything.
True.
And I mean, I don't personally. Here's my God honest opinion about it. And I know some of the people who watch this, have watched wrestling in the past, or will watch it, or currently watching it. And the same, some of the guys at Kicks, I know they watched it in the past. So appreciate this when I say you can take those skirmish chests, you can shine them up real nice and pretty. Then you can take them some bitches, turn them sideways, and shove them straight up your candy asses.
True. And I think it just goes back. Like you said, I don't have a gripe about every aspect of the game. I like a lot of things about the game. But I also think sometimes they roll the dice and they throw this stuff out there and it's not very well thought out, or they don't think about every player in the game. Sometimes I think they think about just their whalers or their high coiners or so on and so forth. And to me, that's just that they've missed the boat there. I don't think they think about the vast majority sometimes, and sometimes they do. Raids, I think, are a perfect example. They give everybody these tiers. You got the 40s, the 60s, the 80s, these big 100s. You as a player can choose which difficulty level you want to play. But if you grind out those 40s or 60s, you're able to get the stuff. If you grind it out, you do the seat time. These campaigns don't allow you to do that and stuff like that. So I think that's where they kind of miss the boat with some of that stuff, is they don't think about their entire player base when they do some of these things. Like I said, I think the raid's always been formatted for every level of player, whether you've been playing this game for 4 months, 4 years, or since it began. You can do the raid. If you've got some level of ship, you've been able to build a few things, you can do the raid. You might not get everything, but you can still do it. They give you something to do. This campaign, with this middle one, the one you have to unlock. From what I'm understanding, if you don't have a pretty good Tideseeker build and a lot of coins, or the new sub, you're not going to be able to do it. So they're basically alienating anybody that didn't do that. So I think alienating any of your player base is definitely not the right thing to do.
One last thing I want to hit on real quick, because I know No Leave, you got to get going here shortly.
Yes, sir. Just a few minutes.
And one last thing I just want to say, based on all this kind of stuff and what's happening right now, I think we definitely need to get the work in progress back.
Yes.
Having some kind of roadmap of what's going on. And I would have loved to have known about all these TLCs ahead of time, because then maybe I wouldn't have, put Magnus Drive 2 on my boat that I just started 2 days ago. I mean, I think we're at that point. We need a roadmap more than, oh, guess what came out today?
I totally agree. I think they need to give us that roadmap. And when they did that for that short time, I was very encouraged by that, because I thought, okay, we can look forward to this. We can look forward to that, or we can get ready. That's the biggest thing. And they kind of give you that roadmap on these raids. They kind of give you the targets to look at, the preview. They kind of do give us a roadmap on the raids. Once again, I think the raids, they do good. I think they have the raids down, and I think they do a good job with those. But it's a lot of these other things that they kind of just, boom, here you go.
One thing I always thought was so fascinating was how easily offended they got by a few people that complained about the work in progress not being right, but yet they could have pages and pages and pages about the raid not being right. They could totally ignore that. So take out of that what you will.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
But anyway, we are wrapping up for the night because, like I said, I know Nulu's got some stuff he's got to get going on. But I appreciate everybody in chat who came and was watching us live, and everybody who will watch us later. I appreciate it. If you like the show, make sure you hit and smash that like button and subscribe. And I guess we will see you next week.
Thanks for having me on this week.
Oh, thanks for coming, man. I'm going to put the link to the Hangout in the chat, too, if anybody wants to come in and talk a little bit after the show.
Definitely always enjoy this. It's kind of opens your mind. And like I said, I know you have kind of that little session where you're like, oh, they do this wrong. And like I said, I do want to reiterate, I think they do a lot of things right. So I'm definitely encouraged by a lot of things they do. But anyway, thanks for having me on, and y'all have a good night.
Later, man.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.